There's a very popular belief among average Batman fans that Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman is his true self. I see this take all the time, and the first defense people will come up with is how, well, Batman said it himself in Batman Beyond at the DCAU. It's definitive that Bruce Wayne is just a facade.
The voice kept calling me Bruce in my mind. That's not what I call myself.
What do you call yourself? I suppose you would, but that's my name now.
Tell that to my subconscious.
You know, it's a cool little clip and all, it's a nice scene between Bruce and Terry, but well, I disagree. I feel like it's kind of disingenuous to adopt the mentality that Bruce Wayne died that night in Crime Alley. He's been nothing more than Batman ever since. And I'm like, alright buddy.
Relax.
Sure, the Playboy party boy persona is a mask as he conveys a certain image to conceal his Batman identity, but saying the entirety of Bruce Wayne is just a mask even when he's around his closest allies and loved ones is just something I don't agree with at all. Like, if there's an instance of Bruce Wayne throwing it back for the one time, then yeah, obviously that's just an act.
Stop that! Mr. Wayne! You have to leave!
Wayne was known for his colorful antics.
So, that's the video Bruce wanted planted.
He knew how to make a cover story. The footage is supposedly from a GCPD sting operation. Exactly when Batman was last fighting Two-Face.
You know, I'd almost forgotten he used to do stuff like this.
The best part is, he did it so often, no one's gonna realize this is from a different night.
But I'm not gonna sit here and yap all day without showing the receipts. Let's take a look at the pages of Bruce Wayne Murderer and Bruce Wayne Fugitive. The story starts out with Batman out on patrol alongside Sasha Bordeaux, who was hired to be Bruce Wayne's personal bodyguard. After a while, she found out that Bruce Wayne and Batman were one and the same, and since Bruce couldn't fire her and let her go knowing his secret, he let her be a part of the loop and become a crime fighter. Bruce and Sasha find the dead body of Bruce's former love interest, Vesper Fairchild, in the living room of Wayne Manor. The entire premise of the story is Bruce Wayne being framed for the murder of Vesper Fairchild, as the actual killer carefully planted evidence suggesting that both Bruce and Sasha were involved in the crime. There was a fabricated 911 recording of Vesper crying out for her life as she was beaten then shot to death in Wayne Manor. The DA charges both of them with first-degree murder when they're taken into custody, and things go downhill for Bruce during the initial Gotham City versus Bruce Wayne trial. Bruce's defense attorney points out how he's done a lot of good for the city, especially after the events of No Man's Land, where Gotham experienced a massive earthquake. He played a major part in rebuilding the city and has been associated with several selfless civic, communal, and environmental support systems for Gotham. How's that for the whole Bruce Wayne doesn't use his money to help Gotham nonsense? Unfortunately, Bruce gets denied bail and ends up in jail. The more time he spent in a jail cell, the more he noticed how his life was falling apart. Wayne Enterprises' stock was plummeting, and people believed his parents' murder might have caused a psychological break that drove him to commit murder. And more notably, it prevented him from doing any work out in the field as Batman. So he does what any sensible person would do and escapes police custody while being transported back to Blackgate prison from the DA's office. So now Bruce Wayne is an escaped convict, but the crazy part is when the Bat family all meet up in the Batcave, he explains to them how he is forever putting the Bruce Wayne persona behind him and will become Batman full time, while the rest of the world believes Bruce Wayne just fled the country to Santa Prisca. He takes it as far as whenever an ally or one of the other Bat family members would call him Bruce, he'd be like, nah fam, it's Batman now, I ain't Bruce Wayne no more, stating how Bruce is a mask he'd been wearing since childhood, which has been nothing more than a liability. Nightwing especially doesn't take kindly to Bruce just giving up and proving his innocence, noting how it wasn't Batman but Bruce Wayne who raised him. It was Bruce Wayne who adopted Dick Grayson. For a brief period, he was fully committed to this. He abandons Wayne Manor and the Batcave entirely to set up shop in a small hideout in the tunnels. Now there was nothing getting in the way of his mission, and he finally felt free. This story puts a big emphasis on the Bat family trying to figure out what actually happened, using the skills of Barbara Gordon, Tim Drake, Alfred, Nightwing, and Cassandra Cain to piece together the puzzle. The tie-in issues across the different Bat family books have them slowly acquiring new clues or leads into proving Bruce Wayne's innocence, while also tackling how some of them questioned his innocence at first for a short period since the evidence planted was so strong against Bruce. Nightwing throughout the entire story was convinced Bruce would never commit such a heinous act, despite what others may have thought at the time. Several months went by with Batman working full-time as a crime fighter, while the Bat family searched for evidence of his innocence. It isn't until he visits visits a dying retired police officer, Gary Sloan, who worked on the case of Thomas and Martha Wayne's murders, that Bruce starts to regain his clarity. He calls Batman to see if he could crack the one case he couldn't as his sort of dying wish, which is to actually solve the murders of Bruce's parents. He was one of the only few people left in Gotham that was certain Bruce wouldn't murder in cold blood ever since he met him as a child the night his parents died. Bruce finally starts to communicate with the Bat family to figure out what actually happened and who murdered Vesper Fairchild and framed Bruce. Right before the killer confesses his wrongdoings to the authorities, proving Bruce Wayne's innocence, Batman has an epiphany, thinking to himself how he initially thought Bruce Wayne died along with his parents, and the mask he's shown to the world is what remained prior to that night. But he comes to the realization that was never the case, because his code of honor and ideals he operates from come from his father, Thomas Wayne, which is a main part as to why he doesn't kill or let others die, as his father wouldn't either since he was a renowned surgeon. Thomas Wayne believed in the sanctity of all life. He finally realizes Bruce was never the mask, closing the issue with, "I am Bruce Wayne, and I always have been."
Yes, sir! This nigga spitting. Damn, nigga!
I don't buy into the belief that Bruce Wayne is merely a mask, as the Bruce Wayne persona plays a crucial role in his moral code and ethical framework as a crime fighter. Despite what you may think, literally all of his closest allies or loved ones call him Bruce when they're not out in the field punching bad guys, which is seen via his close relationships with Wonder Woman and Superman, for example. Zur-En-Arrh, or Failsafe, is the perfect embodiment of what happens when you have a Batman who completely disregards Bruce Wayne, with none of his morals or ideology present. Batman created a backup personality that would take over in the event of a psychological attack of any kind, and this other persona, named Zur-En-Arrh, created a robot to serve as a contingency plan for himself in case Batman were to go rogue or take the life of someone else. Batman's framed for murder, the failsafe robot activates, tries to destroy Batman, and mollywops the Justice League and the rest of the Bat family. And ever since Zur-En-Arrh transferred his subconscious into Failsafe's body, he's over here running amok with Amanda Waller trying to take out superheroes left and right. This is what happens when you have a Batman without Bruce Wayne, unhinged and out of control, hyperfixated on forceful control and order, whether people agree with it or not. I find it baffling that people think all the good things Bruce has done for those in need through different charity events or donations is just for the sake of making himself look good and conceal the fact that he's Batman. You're gonna look me in the eye and tell me with a straight face that when he rebuilds a run-down old mansion and transforms it into a place for the whole Bat family to live in and share, while converting the surrounding buildings being sold into affordable housing, charitable organizations, and green space, giving speeches about helping those in need with whatever amount of wealth he has at his disposal, wanting to connect more with his family, you mean to tell me all that's just for show and that's just a mask?
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
I see so many people try to reinforce this statement with that one panel of Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman all holding the lasso of truth in Wonder Woman Annual 1 from DC Rebirth, basically the retelling of the Trinity meeting each other for the first time, and Wonder Woman pulls out her lasso of truth to serve as a sort of translator, as Batman and Superman couldn't understand what she was saying at the time. Wonder Woman reveals her name to be Diana of Themyscira, Superman says his name is Clark Kent and Kal-El. When Batman holds onto the lasso, he responds with his name just being Batman. And you have no idea how many times I've seen people use this as some sort of gotcha to prove that Bruce Wayne is truly the mask when this comic panel isn't trying to insinuate that delusion at all. It's mostly used as defense from the people who like to use commonly shared screenshots of comics without actually reading the comic issue itself. Mind you, the guy who wrote this issue, Greg Rucka, is the same guy who co-wrote Bruce Wayne Fugitive and Bruce Wayne Murderer, which disproves that belief. Him responding with Batman does not negate his identity as Bruce Wayne. The lasso compels the truth, and at that moment, Batman reflects his immediate and overriding persona in the context of his mission. Saying his name is Batman simply isn't a lie. Again, if you actually read the issue, all that happens is Diana pulls up in front of Batman and Superman. They can't understand what she's saying. She pulls out the lasso as a translator and says her name first. It's not like she went, "Okay guys, let's all take turns saying our true real names." Like, it ain't that deep, Gango. Many different stories over the years, like Batman Ego, clarify how both Bruce Wayne and Batman play an equal part in his psyche. Bruce Wayne is the reason Batman isn't some raging lunatic. Any sense of Batman's compassion or moral compass with children or the innocent come from Bruce Wayne. All of this isn't to say that Batman is a false mask he puts on to pretend to be someone he's not, or that Batman is really the mask and there is only Bruce Wayne, but rather that both personas play a vital role in who he is as a person. The Batman you all know and love, the hero we all adore so much, wouldn't be who he is without Bruce Wayne. Batman is a response to trauma and a tool for enacting justice, but Bruce Wayne is the foundation for for which his values and motivations arise. You get rid of Bruce Wayne entirely, you don't get Batman, you just get a more sophisticated version of the Punisher. Saying Batman is the true persona, to me, is a surface level understanding of who he is as a character, and gets rid of the nuance and complexity of some of the best stories on why being Gotham's protector is so significant for his motivations and sense of justice.